Imagine being one of the most iconic faces in film history without a single line. That's Elsa Lanchester, our Bride of Frankenstein. But here's the thing. To reduce Elsa to nothing more than a hiss and a lightning bolt hairdo is to wildly underestimate her. She was more than just a character actress. She was a comedian, a rule breaker, and a performer who turned her eccentricity into power. And in an industry that demanded conformity, especially from women, Elsa Lanchester made a career out of refusing to behave. Today, we're diving into how this wonderfully weird woman turned her unconventional, no, scandalous life into cinematic legend, and why her legacy is so much bigger than one iconic scream. I'm Antonia Carlotta, and this is Universally Me, the channel for all things Universal and classic horror. My family started Universal Studios, and they made the Universal monster, including Elsa Lanchester's Bride of Frankenstein. Elsa Lanchester was born in London in 1902 to two radical socialist parents who refused to get married because they thought marriage was a tool of the patriarchy. The Victorian establishment lost their mind over this, and Elsa's dad was even threatened with legal action for cohabitation without wedlock. So right out of the gate, Elsa's very existence was an act of defiance. Her parents raised her in a bohemian intellectual environment. Think early 1900s London meets modern-day art commune. She studied dance with Isadora Duncan, who she did not get along with, and she performed in cabarets that leaned heavily on satire and social critique. Before she ever became a Hollywood icon, Elsa Lanchester was already a star, just not in the way studios were used to. In the 1920s, Elsa opened the Cave of Harmony, a cabaret and nightclub where she performed cheeky songs and comedic sketches that often poked fun at high society. She was magnetic, witty, mischievous, and she quickly gained a reputation as someone that didn't just play characters, but became them with a twinkle in her eye. Hollywood was still figuring itself out in this time period, but British stage actors were in demand. Elsa caught the eye of some producers thanks to roles in British silent films as well as her theatrical acclaim. But it wasn't just her talent that got her noticed. It was that she didn't look or act like anyone else. She wasn't the ingenue, she wasn't the vamp, and she wasn't trying to be. In 1927, she met Charles Laughton, the brilliant, tempestuous actor who would become both her husband and creative partner. He helped her secure one of her breakout roles in The Private Life of Henry VIII, and he was the one who wanted to move to Los Angeles, which Elsa reluctantly agreed to. Their marriage was complicated, to put it mildly, but it became one of the most fascinating pairings in Hollywood. A few years later came the role that cemented Elsa Lanchester in cinematic immortality. 1935, James Whale, The Bride of Frankenstein, the follow-up to the 1931 smash hit Frankenstein. And for the monster's mate, James Whale wants something a little different. Not a bombshell, not a damsel in distress. He wants something strange, unsettling, iconic. And who better than Elsa Lanchester? Elsa actually plays two roles in the film. She's Mary Shelley in the prologue, a clever framing device where she teases the story to come, and of course, the bride herself. The bride's screen time? Barely 5 minutes. Her lines? None. And yet, she's the most memorable part of the movie. Elsa didn't play the bride as a passive creation. She modeled her jerky movements and iconic hiss after swans. She did the most with the little screen time she had and instantly became one of the most recognizable figures in cinema history. And then she walked away. She treated The Bride of Frankenstein like any other job. She did not expect it to define her career and was frankly pretty surprised when it did. In the golden age of Hollywood, actresses could get pigeonholed fast. I guess that hasn't really changed. You were either a leading lady or a screwball comedian or like an old lady. There wasn't a lot of opportunity to color outside of the lines, especially if you were aging or foreign or didn't look like Jean Harlow. Elsa didn't subscribe to that. She carved out her own niche as a character actress, but not in the quiet, supporting way that many did. She leaned into eccentricity, playing artists, housekeepers, a bearded woman, a blackmailing landlady, a witch, and people are always shocked to find out that she was Nanny Kate in Mary Poppins. Off-screen, she was equally unconventional. She and Charles Laughton were an odd couple in almost every sense. Their marriage endured despite the fact that he was gay and she refused to play the dutiful Hollywood housewife. They never had kids. She actually terminated one of their pregnancies together, but they made it work. They had a shared love of artistic risk, and their house was like a mix between a salon and a circus. Her career could have fizzled out at any time, but it kept going because she kept evolving. In an industry that rewards those who can fit neatly in a box, she built her legacy on stepping outside of it. She never became a conventional star, but she became something more enduring. She became iconic. Her Bride is a symbol of horror. Her comedic turns are masterclasses in scene stealing, and her refusal to conform inspired generations of character actors, comedians, and eccentrics. When we look at modern actors who embrace their weirdness, think Tilda Swinton, Catherine O'Hara, Jennifer Coolidge, or Helena Bonham Carter, you can see Elsa's DNA in their work. She proved that you don't have to fit the mold to make your mark. Sometimes it's better to break the mold completely. Elsa Lanchester earned 2 Oscar nominations in her career: Best Supporting Actress for both Come to the Stable and Witness for the Prosecution, the latter directed by Billy Wilder and starring Charles Laughton. And in the 1960s and 70s, Elsa Lanchester embraced her status as a cult icon. She did television appearances and interviews, and in 1983, she published her autobiography, Elsa Lanchester Herself. Her stories are so real and raw, heartfelt, funny, shocking. Nobody can say that Elsa Lanchester didn't live a full life. Elsa Lanchester passed away in 1986 at 84 years old. It's easy to mythologize Elsa Lanchester purely as the bride, this 5-minute role frozen in time. But the real woman is much, much more. She left behind a filmography that's a kaleidoscope of characters and a treasure trove of sharp, outrageous, deeply human stories from her real life that are just as unforgettable as anything she played on screen. She was proud of the work she did, and she always kept her sense of humor. Looking back on her career, she said she had large parts in lousy pictures and small parts in big pictures. But I think she was just keeping herself humble because, of course, her career was more than that. So the next time you see The Bride of Frankenstein, remember, that is not just the monster's mate. That is Elsa Lanchester, the bohemian kid who grew up to be Hollywood's ultimate misfit queen. In the comments, I want to hear your favorite Elsa Lanchester role other than The Bride of Frankenstein. If you love these universal and classic horror deep dives, make sure you're subscribed and hit the like button and the notification bell so you never miss a video. Share this video with somebody as unconventional as Elsa Lanchester herself. And remember, paid members are getting bonus videos, pictures, and more. It's the best way to support Universally Me. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.